It's the World's Invitational Frisbee Championships, sanctioned by the International Frisbee Association. I'm Ed Hedrick, steady Ed to the Frisbee players, 001, and founder of the International Frisbee Association, 70,000 members strong. On this plane are over 100 of the world's finest Frisbee throwers. Wham-O, Pepsi, American Airlines have brought these players in from all over the United States and Canada, and we're ready for them in California. This is me welcoming Steve Hansel from Michigan and Don Kane from New Jersey. As you can see, they do some pretty special things with a Frisbee, and each has a specialty that brought them here to the World Championship. There's a lot of talent here, and they're anxious to get going. The goal for every competitor is to win the World Championship of Frisbee. The excitement begins to build. Luggage is collected and the buses head for the dorms at Caltech. Narrating the event for you will be the new director of the International Frisbee Association and a great competitor in his own right, Dan the Stork Roddick.
I'm Dan Roddick, and I'm going to talk to you today about distance, which is the most impressive of the power events in Frisbee. We have with us today Mr. John Kirkland, who is the current record holder in the Guinness Book of Records for the long distance throw at 112 yards. John is going to demonstrate one of the most powerful throws in Frisbee. He uses a backhand with a Berkeley power grip. A fantastic effort. This throw is currently the world's longest Frisbee field goal, flying perfectly through the uprights from over 100 yards away. Women also take part in the distance competition, and to demonstrate women's distance style today, we have the 1974 overall Frisbee champion, Jo Cahow. She will be throwing for you, and something to notice is the straight arm delivery, and she also uses a backhand with a modified Berkeley grip. Jo will also be with us today and offering some expert commentary. This is the official 119G Frisbee we will be using in the competition. The first event of the week is at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Here to welcome the players at the Convention Center is a veteran Frisbee thrower and fine actor, Larry Hagman.
Well, I'm Larry Hagman, and this is Monica Liu, who is the world's champion ladies Frisbee distance thrower and one of the really greats in this industry. How old are you, senorita?
I'm 18.
18? Wow. When did you win it last year? 17 years old? Fantastic. Well, we're at the LA Convention Center here in Los Angeles, and this is the second World Frisbee contest. It's going to be held in the Rose Bowl on Sunday, and it's really nice to have you here.
Victor Malapranti has one of the finest sidearm throws in the game, and he gets the first one out pretty well. Larry gives a few pointers.
I know how important it is for you, senor. It's only your career. All right, go on to Victor there and see what he can do in the second one. Here. Put a little pressure on it.
Vic lets it go. That one's a little better and should put him in the running. They'll mark it at just over 80 yards. Victor wants it back farther. There's the one. That'll be out there, and he knows it. Peter Blurm and Monica Liu look on as Chuck Schultz lets one go. Originally from Berkeley, Chuck now works with the Humbleys, a strong Frisbee group from Michigan. And Irv Kalb, known to us in the Frisbee world as Dr. I, is another strong backhand thrower. That will be in contention too, just short of 80 yards. There are some good throws out there. And here's Dave Johnson, the strong man from Boston. There's one with some real spin, and Johnson takes the title. Dave also set a new world indoor mark at better than 94 yards.
I was really anxious for the competition to come back to Pasadena, and Rose Bowl Queen Sally Struthers was on hand to welcome us and throw out a few Frisbees. The crowd gives her a warm welcome.
Queen Struthers will now throw out the first Frisbee.
The three main events that are held at the Rose Bowl are Ultimate, Guts, and Freestyle. For those of you who are not familiar with these events, we will show you some of the finer points. Here is some freestyle between myself and John Kirkland of Boston, Massachusetts.
The wind's behind me, Joe. You should...
Woo! A behind-the-back catch and an air bounce. A between-the-legs trap. The key to this kind of play is smoothness and finesse, creating a continuous flow. There's an overhand wrist flip. John with a very unique move. A blind catch behind the back and a leaping behind the head catch. Here's a scissor catch from the Stork and an air bounce from his partner, Dr. I. A nail delay right into the Rose Bowl. Here's a towering air bounce. A lift to a between-the-legs one-finger catch. Dr. I picks it up with some tipping. Here is Ken Westerfield, Canada's finest freestyler. Dave Zuzunas from Berkeley, California, another Frisbee powerhouse. A roller shot, the doctor picks it up, no problem. There's a real Canadian mind blower, a catch after rolling the Frisbee across his chest. The elbow tip, and another roller. A trailing edge catch. Finesse and creativity both play a large part in successful freestyle. Here's the finishing move from the Kirkland Westerfield routine, a tunnel to an under-the-shirt catch. Amazing. The crowd just loves it. But the winners today, following their U.S. and Canadian National Freestyle Championship for pairs, is Dr. I and the Stork. Their final move is a steel catch, and they win the approval of the crowd and high points from the judges. We weren't the only ones doing fancy catches at the Rose Bowl. There were also some four-legged Frisbee catchers. Shotzi seems to have no problem with this throw. Think of the complex maneuvering that's involved as they run along looking at only the underside of the Frisbee and then having to catch it with their teeth. A star of any show is Hyper Hank. Here he is doing his thing for the crowd. Oh, he missed that one. That's Rufus. Does make a comeback, much to the delight of the fans.
And now for a game that's a little different. They're in the throwing and catching business, but it's a whole different operation. Here the Frisbee is traveling at 90 miles an hour, while the essence of freestyle is cooperation, guts is combat. These are the two hottest teams in the world, In the green, the Air Aces of Rochester, Michigan. And in the white, last year's world champs, the Library Bar from Houghton, Michigan. They are 15 meters apart and facing each other with the hardest throws that man can generate. The 119 grams of plastic is wavering through the air, and they put it on trajectories with various attack angles that make it move and dip as it knifes across the court. The rules of the game are relatively simple. The teams are penalized for errors. A high throw, that costs the Aces a point. A low throw, that's a point against the Library Bar. Bob Hansen with a thumber, and they pick it up. The Frisbee can be hit by several players, but it must be caught cleanly in one hand by one member of the team.
Yeah!
You can see the intensity that's involved and the concentration that's needed in that microsecond of flight time. Reaction time is the key. Another thumb. Notice the grip, and note how the Frisbee dips just before it crosses the line. That's the negative attack angle. And the season's final combat on the field at the Rose Bowl for the Library, Bill Dwyer, Bob Hansen, Joseph Youngman, Johnny Hodges, and Joe Wickstrom. And for the Air Aces, Bob McCartney, Ron Arndt, Tom Field, Steve Hartzell, and Keith Moore. Hansen starts it off with a thumber, one of the hardest in the game to catch, but they're up for it. A tip up by Moore and a catch by Ron Arndt. McCartney's checking the line. A backhand. Slow-mo shows how it's done. And the crowd loves it. Youngman, this year's velocity champ at over 90 miles an hour, lets one go at the Aces. They claim it's a little short. In this game of gentlemen, there is no referee. The captains are going to talk it out. What's the decision, men? Okay, it was a little short. Another thumber. And Johnny Hodges shows some of the surest hands in the game. He'll let them see another thumb shot. No problem for the Air Aces. They're really hot today. McCartney steps up with a sidearm. This team doesn't see many sidearms in guts, and it gets away from them. They're down to the final point. The Air Aces can validate their international Frisbee title and take the World Championship with this throw. The burden falls on Steve Hartzell. And it's good. The Air Aces sweep both the International and the World Championship this year from the Library Bar, who went undefeated in last year's competition. The end of a great year for the Aces. They're a happy group. Slow motion can show us a little more about what goes on in the game. Here, Keith Moore, better known as Green Man, shows us the effects of his thumber. Killing off the initial speed is the key. The first man can't control it. It's tipped to another, and it's down to Hansen. Did he pull it in? Yes, he did. Here's Tom Fields with a backhand, one of the strongest. Note the extension of the arm and the pendulum force that's generated. That's where the speed comes from. That one gets away. Guts, a good name for a hell of a game.
Another unique recreational activity on display at the Rose Bowl was demonstrated by these young ladies. All are former national junior hula hoop champions, and you can see why the event is so popular. Here is Melody Howe and Mary Llewellyn Jones. The current record held by this young lady for simultaneous hula hooping is 56 hoops. The only problem is you can't see her. Here is last year's champion, Deanne DeLuna. Coming up is a delicate move which helped her win the championship, a leg pickup.
Joe, those girls were tremendous. They had some great moves. And there are some great moves on the Frisbee field. Teamwork, endurance, and pinpoint passing are the key to success here. And the red team's on offense. They're moving up the field, the blue team playing defense. If there's an incomplete pass, or the blue team knocks it down or intercepts, then they're on offense. That one's out of reach. No, I pull it in and hit Don Kane in the end zone for 3. Blues now on offense, moving up the field. It's an air bounce, cross field to Lawant, and upfield, incomplete. The Reds on offense now. Each of the 7 players working in a concerted effort to move the Frisbee up the field for a goal. There's a quick exchange. And another. And a Red score. 3 points. A tremendous breakup by Case, and he starts the offense. This is the hot spot. A goal here is worth 5 points, as opposed to 3 in the rest of the end zone. Here I am, hitting the doctor for 5. We start with a flip of the Frisbee, and we're back at the Rose Bowl, and it's for keeps now. The 2 strong teams facing off in one of the most famous sports arenas in the country. These are the best players from college and club teams across the country.
You'll be throwing. You'll be receiving. Okay? Good luck.
The Red Tide will be receiving the opening throw-off. And they begin to move upfield. Incomplete. And the Blue Breakers take over. Case with 2 fakes, fakes the backhand, fakes the overhand wrist flip, and then lets it go. The blue team is demonstrating controlled, steady offense. Ooh, a narrow miss at a goal. The Reds on offense. An incomplete pass, and the Blues take over. It's a long pass downfield, and a needle threader for a 5-point goal. All right. Let's take another look at that 5-pointer. It was very close. See the defender almost has his hand on it. Peter Blurm throws off for the blue, and Dr. I receives. It's downfield. Ooh, some contact. This can be a rough sport. A long overhand wrist flip, and a great defensive effort. Red moves upfield. Mark Dana controls on one knee. He looks and hits Tom McRan for 3. A great pickup by Hannock, and a save by Case. Case lets it go downfield into the end zone. Hannock is there. Oh, a great defensive effort from behind. Let's take a look at the replay there. Note that Harper touches it just as it leaves Case's hand and moves it a little offline, putting Hannock slightly out of position. Tremendous defensive effort by Dr. I, relying on positioning and timing to knock the Frisbee away. With time running out, Red moves up the field. Incomplete. Blue in control. And it's a strike from Summers to Hannock to sew it up for the Blue. Let's look at the replay of that final score. There it is, the Blue Breakers over the Red Tide at 20-17. They're really happy about that victory. There were a number of world titles granted at the Rose Bowl, and I was fortunate to take the one in accuracy. John Connolly, always a contender in distance, was a close, ever so close second to Dave Johnson. Dave, however, taking both the outdoor and the indoor in an astounding performance, puts it out over 95 yards. Once a semi-pro pitcher, you can either throw things far or you can't. He receives his congratulations from his fellow competitors. Monica Liu, 2 times world women's distance champion, again validates her prowess by taking the 1975 outdoor title. The overall men's champion was Bruce Koger of Chicago, Illinois, and the women's champion, Joe Cahow of Los Angeles, California. Their titles were based on fine finishes in the world-class master competition. We've all enjoyed bringing you this truly unique athletic event from the Rose Bowl.